Good evening. I'm Beth Poore Bowman, the oldest of Henry and Nina's 7 children, and I live in the Shenandoah Valley in Virginia. I'd like to welcome you to the 8th annual and first online Beans and Rice fundraiser. Here, this is our fundraiser for the Poore Medical Clinic and the Sid Davis Dental Clinic. My parents were living in a little town in Virginia when I was a little girl, and my mother had terrible allergies, so they set off for the West to look for a place to settle where she would have less trouble breathing. They loaded up the Airstream, hitched up the Country Squire station wagon, and set off down Route 66. As often happened on those trips, I was sick, and my father had not brought his standard fix for a sore throat, which was a cc of penicillin, and you're behind. So he went into town looking for a pharmacy that could help him. He went to Paul Armstrong's pharmacy on Beaver Street, and Mr. Armstrong couldn't sell him medications because in those days you couldn't check licenses from state to state like we can now. Mr. Armstrong, however, recommended that Daddy try to get in touch with Dr. Charles Sechrist, who might be able to help him. Daddy went back to the trailer only to find that in the interim, Mr. Armstrong had called Dr. Sechrist, and that Dr. Sechrist had showed up, given me a shot of penicillin, and gone on his way. Daddy went to thank him, and Dr. Sechrist refused to take any payment, but said to Daddy he should come to Flagstaff and set up practice. My parents fell in love with Flagstaff on that trip, and soon moved us to Flagstaff. Dr. Sechrist was a noted philanthropist in Flagstaff. He started the hospital and gave the building to the city and was on the school board for many years. In addition, Dr. Sechrist treated a lot of the less well-off folks in Flagstaff. One night, as his health had been failing, he called my father and asked him to make a house call out to Doney Park to see an old cowboy named Charlie Rice. So Daddy got in the car, loaded up his bag, and set off for Doney Park. Now, those of you who know my father know that his stories sometimes had a lot of color for detail, and this one, he always claimed he was driving the Model A Ford and that it was snowing. One way or the other, he got there and treated Mr. Rice for pneumonia. As he was leaving, Mr. Rice said, "So where are my beans? Dr. Sechrist always brings me a bag of beans when he comes." So Daddy said, "Well, I didn't know anything about that, but I'll find out for you when I get back to town." Daddy went back and called Dr. Sechrist, and Dr. Sechrist said, "Oh gosh, I forgot to tell you. So come to my office and I'll fix you up." When Daddy got to Dr. Sechrist's office, in the waiting room, there was a big bag of pinto beans and a big bag of white rice. Dr. Sechrist had a scoop there, some brown paper bags, and a sign that said, "Help yourself." Dr. Sechrist told my father that he kept those in his office for those of his patients that just needed a little hand from time to time. Daddy took the beans and set off for Doney Park and delivered them to Mr. Rice. He never forgot Dr. Sechrist's example, and through the years treated people for bicycles and firewood and coal and work around our place out on Fort Valley Road. This fundraiser for the Poore Medical Clinic is to give us an opportunity to give a little hand to those who need a little help in our community. So thank you for participating tonight, and we hope to see you live in the Orpheum next year. But for now, please enjoy the show.